guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and we're back with another reaction video for Kemono Jihen episode 5. Yikes! Why is this so hard every time? I can't.
I'd like you guys to appreciate my anime gear because, I love anime and I love Bakugo and Kirishima, and their friendship is just, gives me the feels. Anyways, that's besides the point. If you haven't watched My Hero, you should watch My Hero.
Let's get back to Kemono Jihen. I kind of took a break from making videos, even though I haven't made that many. I took a break because I just wasn't feeling the show that much. Last episode was kind of boring because it was, I hate to say it was about Akira, and Akira is just like, it's Akira. He doesn't like bugs or, scary things, and that's your job. That's your job. Like, I don't know how to help you here. As you guys can see, the setting is a little different. Ignore the plushies in the back. Wow, this is kind of embarrassing. So I was watching the episode 5 of Kemono Jihen, and in this episode they go on another mission. However, they meet this new guy named Mihai. They stumble upon him because Kabane accidentally opens a door that he shouldn't have opened. Actually, now that I think about it, Kabane didn't even open that door. He just grabbed him through the door. He was holding on to the door for dear life when Mihai grabbed him through that door. After a couple hours, Akira and Shiki are looking for him, and they're just like, yo, where's Kabane? I don't see him nowhere. And finally, Inugami says, well, where was he last at? And then he said, well, he was last over there. He opens that door, and he's like, Mihai, what the fuck is you doing? So it looks like Mihai is kind of trying to recruit Kabane as like a servant. Like, why is he trying to treat Kabane like a servant? Oh, all of a sudden you love Kabane now, right, Shiki? I'm not mad about Shiki defending Kabane. I'm just like, oh my god, is this friendship starting to form? That's beautiful. So what happens is that, surprisingly, Kabane goes back to that room because he promised Mihai to open his water bottles. It's like, Kabane, you don't have to be treated like this. It's really okay.
Shiki goes in there and he's like, yo, didn't you hear what Inugami said? No, don't come back here. Do not come back here. Why are you here?
Kabane's like, oh, I made a promise. And you're just looking at him like, he just told you this guy is bad news. Shiki's the only logical person. I'm sorry. Like, I love Kabane, but damn, where's the light bulb? Come on. Danger, stranger, danger, something. I don't know. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, I know you can't die, but bruh, come on. I know you can't die, but you can't be acting this crazy. So if you promised a murderer, I'll carry your bags, your duffel bags of stolen money forever, would you do it? I'm just saying, just trying to prove a point. Shiki goes in there, back to that room, trying to get Kabane back. And Mihai's like, you know what? I'll give you a deal. If you win in an arm wrestling match with me, I'll give you your little friend back. So Shiki does it, and he loses. And loses. And loses. Multiple times. Like, multiple times.
Okay, really, just stop. You're just embarrassing yourself at this point. You're just picking on this kid now. No, it's just fucking mean. So then, Kabane is like, well, can I do this arm wrestling match? And he's like, sure, you can do it. So then he goes up against Kabane, and Kabane loses. Clearly, because this guy is strong as fuck.
So then Kabane ends up, like, going out to do some errands after that, after losing. And he's, like, pondering his thoughts, thinking, wow, I can't believe I lost. Like, I really can't believe I lost. I'm just like, damn, Kabane, you just really think you's the shit.
Has he lost the fight yet? I mean, where? Bitch, because where? No, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he hasn't lost the fight yet, so I guess you do think you're Goku. Don't let it get to your head.
As he's walking, he goes and sits down, and out of nowhere, Kon appears. And you find out that Inara basically just doesn't give a shit about her no more. She just doesn't care. And then out of nowhere, Kabane is like, hey, let's fight. And then they just start fighting, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you guys fighting? Like, was that like a way to be like, hey, let's be friends?
Like, you could have just said that.
So they're fighting, and Kon's actually really giving Kabane a run for his money. Grabs her hands and like headbutts her, and I'm just like, no one could survive that infamous headbutt. Come on, man.
So Kon starts crying and stuff, and Kabane's all consoling her, and it's actually kind of cute, because I'm just like, oh, is this a budding romance I see?
I'm just weird. We're all weird. I'm just really weird when it comes to romance, and awkward. as I am right now. So eventually, she falls asleep. Cohen falls asleep by some, I don't know why. How do you fall asleep after getting headbutted? What? Cohen falls asleep, and then Kabine's like, what do I do now? So Kabine finally wakes her up and he says, hey, do you want to come live with us? She was just saying she can't live with him. And I'm just like, but where are you gonna live? You homeless. Like, you literally just fell out of a tree. He's trying to help you.
She says, oh, I can live with you, Kabine, because, you know, like, you're not like him. I mean, even though you follow him, that's different. And he's like, I can't, I got chores to do. I'm like, I shouldn't laugh, but technically it was a little fun.
Didn't y'all just meet and she was trying to kill you last episode? Well, I'm so confused. And Cole's not the brightest. She's not the brightest. She's just not that bright. So Kabine ends up going home after his encounter with Cone. And Mihai's like, hey guys, I got a mission for you. Well, actually, Inugami has a mission for you. Meanwhile, Inugami is nowhere to be found. Shiki's like, hey, come, like, let's do this mission. Like, I got this cool new technique. His new technique is actually pretty cool. He actually is able to camouflage himself, which is pretty dope. I'm like,
oh shit, Spider-Man never did that. Spider-Man never did none of that.
They have to sneak into some building where all these people have been committing suicide, and then out of nowhere, they stop committing suicide for a couple years. And Mihai just finds it a little suspicious. So I guess they go on this mission to investigate this building or whatever. And Shiki is basically the one to infiltrate the building, like just going, because he has that cool camouflage technique where no one could see him. And when he looks through the window, these people, they look like they're soulless, like they're working themselves to death. Story of my life. Story of a lot of people's lives, actually. What? You're working till you're exhausted? No way! We don't do that here.
I was just like looking at Shiki like, Shiki, these are adults. This is life. Or maybe this is just jobs. Let me not get into that whole job conversation.
Some of the people that look like dead inside, I'm just like, yeah, that reminds me of my job sometimes. Sometimes it reminds me of my job. Just a little bit. So what happens next is this guy, he eventually like starts losing his shit. Like, he starts losing it. He's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. He like literally walks out. He says, I'm quitting. I can't. I quit. I'm just like, he just walks out. He says, I quit. I can't do this anymore. And he actually looks really like he's about to off himself. And she was like, come to the office. We could talk about it. So he goes into the office, and out of nowhere, it's a bug. It's a bug in the face of, like, it has a woman's body, but it has a fly's face, if that makes any sense. Did I mention I hate bugs? And then out of nowhere, its long tongue comes out of its face into this guy's ear and sucks his brains out. Like, sucks his brains out.
Motherfucker. Do you see why I hate bugs now? Do you see why I hate bugs? Next thing is it's gonna show up as a fucking giant spider. I can't. I hate bugs. Anyways, let's get back to the story.
So, this thing sucks his brains out, and this man falls on the ground, and Shiki sees the whole thing, and he's in shock. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like they had a mosquito's face on their body. They had a mosquito's face and a woman's body. So this man passes out, then he gets up and goes back to work. This man goes back to work. You just had your brain sucked out. What? Do they grow back? Like, I mean, even if your brains got sucked out, you should be dead. Anyway, this man goes back to work, crazy as hell. And he is scared as hell. He's like, abort mission. We're done here. We're done. We're leaving. It's a wrap. We're done. We'll figure it out another day. I'm like, Shiki, that's my main man. Yes. I would have never walked into that fucking building, first and foremost. Second of all, you had the right idea. Get the fuck out of there. Get out of there. And then Mihai, who's the one controlling the little toy car that's driving and shit, he's like, well, you're no fun. So I'm gonna, make this a little rowdy. So he starts ramming the car into the fucking wall, making all this noise, and Shiki's like, yo, stop, they're gonna hear you. And then he has to camouflage himself again, because it looks like he could only camouflage himself when he's holding his breath or whatever, maybe when he's less panicked. I'm not sure what are the circumstances of his camouflage technique. These people end up coming out and looking to see what, like, those three girls end up coming out like, what the hell is that?
One girl finds that toy car and she shoves it in her coat pocket, whatever antenna hand she has takes the toy car, and shoves it in her jacket. It's like, you're just all bug, aren't you?
So then she's like, oh, I don't know what that was. Maybe some boxes fell down. The girl that took the toy car. And then they're all walking away and stuff. And then Shiki, you know, he uncamouflages himself. And he's like breathing heavy. And he's just like, oh man, that was close. What do I do? And he's trying to problem solve. He's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. But if I don't do it in time, then I'm going to get caught. But if I do this and this and that, and then I'm going to get caught. Like, he's just problem solving.
He's thinking of every worst possible case scenario, which is me. Because I always think of the worst possible case. I never think of the best possible case scenario, which is kind of dark.
So he's thinking of the best case possible scenario. And out of nowhere, the girl's like, oh, there you are. So Shiki's sitting there breathing heavy as hell. He's like he's terrified. I've never seen this kid so scared. Like, I was actually really shocked. Wow, this kid talks a lot of shit. He was genuinely scared. So scared that he didn't move. He didn't do anything. It was to the point where Mihai had to step in, and Mihai was basically controlling that toy car. So Mihai is basically talking through this toy car, and he's like, to Shiki, what are you doing? You didn't move at all. If it wasn't for me, you'd be dead. And to be honest, Shiki was breathing so damn hard. I was like, damn, Shiki, you about to die right now? Mihai's the one that's antagonizing, like creating all this mess. You created this mess. So then he realizes that Shiki's not even listening to him. He's just sitting there breathing heavy. Like, Shiki looks like he's having a panic attack. And I actually feel really bad because he's just a kid. I'm like, yo, he's just a kid, man. Like, don't do this. And while Mihai realizes that Shiki's not even listening to him, he's like, oh, so this whole time you were playing tough. This is gonna be fun. Like, I'm just like, so now Mihai's even more interested in Shiki than he was before, because at first he wasn't really interested in him because he felt like Shiki always played it safe, which I like. But then he's like, oh, Shiki looks like he's gone through some sort of trauma to receive this kind of response. I don't know. I just almost feel like I just wish I was a character or a fly on the wall. No, bad analogy. I would probably beat Mihai because I don't like that. I just don't. It's like, how you gonna taunt a child? Like, come on. Anytime Shiki's in the show, honestly, I love it. I love Shiki being there. Like, he's just my favorite character at this point. I love Kabane too, but Shiki's my faves. So what'd you guys think of this episode? I thought it was actually pretty good. Like, I was like, damn, this is actually not bad. Like, I actually felt really bad for Shiki because I'm like, yo, Mihai's right. Like, as much of an asshole he is, he definitely is going through some sort of trauma to create this response that he's having. Like, he's breathing heavy. Like, he can't even think. He's not even looking at anybody else. I'm like, yo, this kid's having a full-on panic attack. Like I actually feel really bad for him. I'm like, oh God, no. Akira is like in the background somewhere passing the hell out for seeing a bug. I'm just like, oh. I'm just like, oh, you could be great. You really could be. You truly could be great. Please don't be this character, please. Mihai is major asshole number one. Alright guys, I hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and we're back with another series of Just Jaina and my YouTube videos. Ah! What does happen next?